Hey, everybody, this is your friendly neighborhood therapist, Alfonso. Hope you guys are already having an amazing day or evening or afternoon, whatever it is, on purpose. I'd like to just take a few minutes of your time to talk about something that has become problematic for me. So please forgive me because, yes, I'm going to say some things that, ladies, I don't think you're going to like. And as my bishop used to say, if I hit you, I didn't mean to miss you. But if it doesn't apply to you, no need to be offended by it. I noticed over the last couple of months that I see these men, couples, but I'm talking specifically about men, who I would say to them, I'm proud of you. I appreciate how you show up for your wife, for your family. And what's happened in the last few months or so is that these men would start looking at me. And I can tell that they're getting ready to cry, but I'm thinking maybe I said something that was offensive that they're now having a delayed reaction to. And what I realize is they're getting sad because they hear stranger. They hear a stranger say, I'm proud of you. They hear a stranger say, I appreciate you. And I say, why is that making you cry? And they say, Mr. Lewis, it's because I don't hear it at home. What do you mean you don't hear it at home? My wife doesn't tell me she appreciates me. And it made me wonder, why is it so hard? Why is it so difficult? What's the harm in telling your husband, I appreciate you? When I was still pastoring and I prepared my message, go to church, preach on Sunday, on the way home, we couldn't even get a half block out of the parking lot before my wife would say, oh, I appreciate the message that you preach. She would say it whether we were in a good way or bad way or whatever. It was something instinctual that told her my husband needs to hear how she appreciates that. I had a conversation with a few women, and something that one of them said struck me as being odd. Speaking the truth, struck me as being odd. And she said, Alfonso, some women don't tell certain men that they appreciate them or they did a good job because that person is a pastor or a bishop or does something else that people are always complimenting them. And I said, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but do you know that a man, a pastor, would rather have his wife tell him how she appreciates you than to have 1,000 people stand in line to shake your hand? Why is that? It's because he ain't married to them. He didn't pledge himself to them. They are not one with him. Why does your words mean, your words as a wife mean so much to me? It's because we are one. When you appreciate me, it lets me know that you appreciate us. Those other relationships are somewhat transactional and contractual. It's not a soul tie. A man, ladies, will charter a private jet to China to get you a cup of tea when you tell him I'm proud of you. I appreciate when my patients say, Mr. Lewis, you've done so much for me and I really appreciate it. And I say, thank you. And I even jokingly, comically say to them, now, you know, the only reason we're seeing each other is because you either have insurance that I accept or you can afford my fee. It's not that I don't love you, but our paths would have never crossed if it had not been for some transactional purposes or purpose. But as my wife, it's not transactional. It's a soul tie. It's a bond. You are with me because I feel you, but I need to hear you say, I appreciate you. I love you. And the sad thing is that there are so many pastors and preachers to whom I provide therapy literally across the country. And to see these big men, these 50, 60, 70-year-old men tear up when I say I'm proud of you, and to hear them say, my wife has never told me that. Why? How is it that you can tell me what I've done wrong, but you don't tell me how you appreciate how I grind day in and day out, how I try to provide a home, how I try to make you proud of me, the way I conduct myself in front of other people? When that man, lady, comes home, do you know what he needs more than a plate of food, a glass of wine, a beer, soda, glass of water? He needs to hear you say, I appreciate you. I love you. I value you. I see you. It should not take a man coming to therapy to hear a transactional stranger say to him, I appreciate how you show up for your family. That's your job. It is your job to make that man feel like what he does during the day when he's out here trying to do his best. It is your job to let him know, I need you. I appreciate you. For someone to have to come to therapy, to look forward to therapy because they know Pastor Lewis is going to say, I appreciate you. I love that word you preach. It has to come from you. I would rather not preach anywhere if it meant that I could only hear, baby, I appreciate that word you preach from everybody else, but not hear from my own wife. What she would say to me on Sundays after church, it set the course for the rest of my day and that week. I'm going to see a lot of people that week, but I only have one baby, one wife, one soulmate. Ladies, he needs to hear you say, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm telling you this in a generic kind of way because a man doesn't feel like he can be open and vulnerable and safe if he feels like he's going to be ridiculed for telling you the truth, that he needs to hear you say, I love you, I appreciate you. And I'm telling you, ladies, if you want to see the best of that man, tell him how you appreciate what he's doing, what he's trying to do. Proverbs 15 said that a soft word will kindle anger, whereas a harsh word will evoke wrath. Make sure you're giving that man a soft word today. Tell that man, I love you. Tell that man, I appreciate you, and watch how much sweeter the relationship is. God bless you. Love you. See you next time.